on digital radio, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Basketball in March.
The Donut Bag presented by The Sportscast.
The Donut Bag, hosted by Joey Toscano. And here's your host, Joey Toscano.
What's going on, everybody? Well, the pick is in. The Steelers take Derek Harmon, defensive lineman from Oregon. Whew. I got to tell you, I'm just saying it right off the bat. I am so happy they did not take Shedeur Sanders. Thank you. Thank you, baby Jesus. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. They did not take Sanders. Thank you. I'm so happy. So let's do a quick review of the draft so far. First pick, the Titans took Cam Ward. That was expected. Then at number 2, we got a big blockbuster trade. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cleveland Browns had a big trade and swapped picks, and the Jacksonville Jaguars moved up, took up Travis Hunter. Huge move. Travis Hunter was considered maybe the best player in the draft. Crazy talented. I've just heard so many amazing things about him. So huge move for the Jaguars to get him. Huge move, smart move for the Browns to get all those extra picks. They got a ton of extra picks, including the Jaguars' first round pick next year. Sanders comes with drama. Hi, Duchess. Yeah, I did not want any of that drama. I did not want any of that drama. I wanted none of that. There's a whole bunch of reasons I didn't want Sanders. We'll go into them in a minute. I'm just going to recap the first round real quick. The Giants took Abdul Carter, the edge from Penn State. Totally expected. I think he's going to be awesome. Now, I think that the Patriots kind of lost out on this because I think there were 3 really good players in this draft. I lost my train of thought. There were 3 good players, and then the Patriots at 4, they took like the best of the rest. But I think there was a tier down from Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, and Abdul Carter to the rest of the draft. So the Patriots kind of lost out, but they got their tackle Will Campbell from LSU. Then with the Browns with their pick, they took Mason Graham, the defensive tackle from Michigan. I hear that Myles Garrett personally made this pick. Okay, makes sense. I mean, sure, Myles Garrett is basically running that team now. He doesn't care about winning, so sure, let him pick the damn players. With the 6th pick, the Raiders take Ashton Jeanty, the running back from Boise State. Makes sense. He's another super talented player. I think that was a really good pick. Then I think the surprise of this draft was a lot of offensive players went early. A lot of offensive line players went a lot earlier than they were that people speculated. I saw a lot of mock drafts with not a lot of offensive line picks, but a lot of them did go. And one of them was Membao, the Missouri tackle, to the Jets. That makes sense. See, Dr. says we have enough drama. Oh, yes, we do. And when we get Aaron Rodgers, we're going to have even more drama. Once Moose says, I feel like if the Steelers pick Sanders, Rodgers would have accepted an offer just to out drama him. Well, that's a really good question. Here's my theory about Aaron Rodgers as to why he didn't sign with the Steelers yet. This is my theory. I think he didn't sign with the Steelers yet because he wanted to see what they were going to do in the draft. If they were going to take Shedeur Sanders or another quarterback, because he doesn't need, as Duchess says, he doesn't need that drama. He doesn't need, and yes, you could say, oh, he's a Hall of Fame player. Why does he care? You know, he's the first ballot Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest of all time. Why does he care about a competition with someone else? I wouldn't be in competition. However, if he struggled, people would say, put in Sanders. We want Sanders. We want Sanders. And he doesn't want to deal with any of that. So I that's just a theory. That's just a theory. We'll see. Dave says if his last name wasn't Sanders, he wouldn't be second round and probably wouldn't go. That is a great point, Dave. If he wasn't Deion Sanders' kid, he would not have gotten this much notoriety. Now, I think he just played this terribly. It seemed like, and I just talked about this on the Jersey Boys podcast, but it seemed like, all those mock drafts a month or two ago had Cam Ward going 1, and then Shedeur Sanders either going 2 to the Browns or 3 to the Giants. So he thought he was top 5. And when the combine was out, I heard he didn't even want to talk to some teams. It's like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm not gonna. Why would I talk to a team in the top 10 or top 20 or something? I'm not gonna last that long. I'm gonna be top 5. Screw this. Then things got so bad that he talked to the Steelers. The Steelers at 21, he had a visit with them. So he went from being too good to talk to like a top 10 team to talking to the team that was going to draft 21st. And I think that whole thing was just Mike Tomlin having doing a favor for Deion Sanders. And I think all this smoke screen about the Steelers taking Sanders, I think it was all just Tomlin doing a favor for Deion Sanders and saying, "Hey, could you do something to help my kid to talk him up or something so that maybe somebody else will draft him early?" I think that was all that was, because I don't think they ever considered taking him. Why did they take Derek Harmon? I think it's very simple. They telegraphed it. Look what the Steelers did in the offseason. They didn't do anything regarding not defensive line. They lost Larry Ogunjobi and they picked up a couple of minor lower level players. Nothing spectacular. It's basically screamed Derek Harmon. Not Derek Harmon. They basically screamed defensive line. And it was very obvious that they were going to go defensive line. That just is bite your tongue about Aaron. He's coming. I'm telling you, he is coming. I think this is the next domino to fall. I don't know when Aaron Rodgers is going to sign. Next week, next month, September. I don't know. I don't know when he's going to show up, but I think Aaron Rodgers will be a Steeler. Dave says Browns versus Bengals next year will be a team with all the offense versus a team with all the defense. Yeah. The Browns. The Browns still need a quarterback because they got Kenny Pickett. Sorry. They got Kenny Pickett right now as their quarterback. So they're gonna need all the help. Now the Bengals did take a defensive player, which was a really interesting player. But let's keep going with this. So the Panthers that people thought that they were going to trade that pick, and they took Tech McMillan, wide receiver from Arizona. Now at 9, the Saints were the first team that people thought, well, are the Saints going to take Shedeur Sanders? Probably not, because they haven't drafted a quarterback in the first round in like 50 years. So the Saints take Kelvin Banks Jr., an offensive tackle from Texas. Once Moose says Harmon studies Hayward, so that's gold. Thank you so much. Yes. Getting Derek Harmon, I think, is going to be huge for the defensive line. I think a combination of Cam Hayward, Derek Harmon, and Benton is going to be a very good defensive line. And I think hopefully that means Benton is going to move to the defensive end spot. So, and which he'll be better at. So I think this really helps the defensive line. So yeah, I'm very, very happy about this pick. So on the 10th pick, the the Bears were thought to take either a running back or tight end, and they took a tight end, but they took not the tight end that people thought. People thought they were going to get Tyler Warren, and they got Colston Loveland, the Michigan tight end, who is also supposed to be very good. At 11, the 49ers take Michael Williams, the Georgia edge. Yeah, I mean, they have lots of needs, so go for it. The Cowboys at 12 were thought to take a wide receiver, and instead they take Tyler Booker, an Alabama guard. 3/5 of their offensive line is named Tyler, which is funny. At 15, the Falcons take Jalen Walker, the Georgia linebacker. That makes sense. At 16, the Cardinals take Walter Nolan, the Ole Miss defensive tackle. Walter Nolan, he could have gone anywhere. He could have gone high first round, low first round, not the first round. I've heard all kinds of things. He's just a bit of a wild card. He says he's the next Aaron Donald. We'll see. Hey buddy, you better let's see you back that up. That's some big words. And then at 17, the Bengals take Shamar Stewart, the Texas A&M edge. Makes sense. I mean, literally, they have nobody on defense, so obviously they were going to take a defensive player. Shamar Stewart is very interesting because he's a guy with all the physical traits in the world. In fact, with the RAS score, I think he said he got 10. We're a perfect 10. I don't think I've never seen a player do that. So perfect, great. But the dude can't sack a quarterback for his life. He has terrible stats. Dave says, could the Browns be thinking stink this year and then with 2 first-round picks next year we get their franchise quarterback? Well, that's what the Steelers are thinking. That's what the Steelers are thinking. Let's see about 2026. Let's see this. It's supposed to be a great quarterback draft. I've looked into it, and I think I found like 10 players that could possibly go into the first round. A lot of things could change between now and then, but still. The Browns, but yeah, what are the Browns going to do now? I don't know. I mean, what is going to happen with Shedeur Sanders now? Right now, I'm looking at the draft now, and I see that the Chargers took Omarion Hampton, the North Carolina running back, for the 22nd pick. I think that's a very good trade. It's I'm surprised Hampton waited that long. So it's a very good pick. But now, where does Sanders go? Look at the rest of the first round. Green Bay doesn't need at 23 doesn't need a quarterback. The Vikings don't need a quarterback. The Texans don't need a quarterback. The Rams maybe. I could see the Rams taking Sanders at 26. So possibly. The Ravens don't need a quarterback. The Lions don't. The Washington doesn't. The Bills don't. The Chiefs don't. The Eagles don't. So I could easily see if the Rams don't take him, and if another team doesn't trade up, I could totally see the Browns or the Giants moving up back into the first round to take Sanders. I could easily see that happen. But then again, who else is still available at quarterback? Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe. They're still available too. So hey, maybe they'll go before Sanders. I don't know. Why do I not want Sanders besides all of the reasons that we already talk about? How like Dave said, if his name wasn't Sanders, I don't know. I mean, he's a football nepo baby. But the main reason, the two main reasons I didn't want him is, first of all, his physical skills are not great. He doesn't have a strong arm. He's not mobile. Okay, he's supposedly smart and can read a defense. That's great, good. But I've heard him compared to Mac Jones and Teddy Bridgewater and stuff like that. Like that's who you want. Like your ceiling is average. That's what you're hoping this guy turns into, an average quarterback. What are we all doing this for? If we got to compete with Joe Burrow and Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson with an average quarterback, we already got an average quarterback. His name is Mason Rudolph. We don't need another average quarterback. So that's another reason I didn't want him. The other thing is, I've heard, you have these anonymous scouts talking, and some of them say good things about him, but some of them say he just flat out sucks. You want somebody that does people just say flat out sucks is just not good? No. So in the 13th pick, the Dolphins go defense, get Kenneth Grant. Now that was one of the defensive tackle targets of the Steelers, Kenneth Grant. So it's like, okay, one off the board. Okay, now we're getting a little bit worried. Now with the 14th pick, now if you're watching this live, it went Kenneth Grant to the thing, and then like 30 seconds later, it went the Colts took Tyler Warren to Penn State. So this is one of those quote unquote run to the podium picks where they cannot believe that Tyler Warren was still available. So they ran to the podium. That was a great pick. Tyler Warren was thought to go top 10. So that was a great pick. The Falcons take Jalen Walker, the linebacker. Makes sense. They need defense. And then did I already do that? Did I already talk about this? I already talked about Walter Norland. I'm sorry. The Browns take Shamar Stewart, and then at 18, the Seahawks take Gray Zabel, another offensive guard. Kind of a surprise that he went this high, but okay. And 19, the Buccaneers take Emeka Ogbuka, the Ohio State wide receiver. Great pick. He's one of the best wide receivers in this draft. Smart pick. So here we go. Now at 20, what are the Broncos going to do? Are the Broncos going to trade? A lot of rumors. The Giants were going to trade, or the Browns are going to trade up to swipe that Sanders from the Steelers. And no, they kept the pick and they went Jahdae Barron, the Texas cornerback. Now, Chris Carter, who's the host of Locked On Steelers and who is one of these experts that studies film like crazy and is an expert at this draft and has been studying it like crazy. That was his number one guy available. So I don't know if the Steelers were if Barron was available to the Steelers, I don't know if they would have taken him on. They might have, because that's one of those where it's like, I can't believe he's still available kind of things. But at 21, the big question, are the Steelers going to take Shedeur Sanders? No, they took Derek Harmon, the defensive tackle from Oregon. I am so happy. I'm already getting so Mike apparently Mike Tomlin was talking, and he said Derek Harmon is things are coming fast and furious now. Trying to get this okay. Omar Khan says the Steelers had serious conversations with other teams, but Derek Harmon was one of the players they weren't moving away from. Mike Tomlin says Harmon has quote unquote Steelers DNA in him. We weren't interested in trading away from him. Because if they did trade away, there was talk that the Steelers were going to trade down. It's like, okay, but what do you're getting into really dangerous territory that you're going to miss out on a player. Mike Tomlin says Derek Harmon is stout against the run, but also a major threat at getting after the quarterback. We got ourselves a big man that's capable for us in all circumstances. Omar Khan says the Steelers are focused on beefing up the trenches once again after attacking an offensive line for the last 2 years, and I'll turn their attention to the defensive line. Those big are not easy to find. That is another thing. Is another reason why they went defensive line, because who came over from the Eagles? Who came over? Andy Weidel. What is the Eagles' philosophy? Win in the trenches. Win in the offensive line, win in the defensive line. And what do the Steelers desperately need? Defensive line. They already took care of the offensive line, and hopefully, let's pray that those players worked out. But Now they have to address the defensive line. I would not be surprised if this is not the only defensive line pick. It would not surprise me if they went defensive line in the 3rd round or the 4th round or whatever, because they still need more players. Cam Hayward it's amazing that he's playing so well at his age, but my goodness, he is not young. So there needs to be a replacement. There needs to be depth on that defensive line, rotate him out. What the heck is going on? What else is going on? Omar Khan said Harmon stood out in his interview at the combine. He checked a lot of boxes for us. Yeah, this is big. This is who I think who they wanted. They got one of their top targets. So very I think they're very happy. Harmon had 45 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles for the Ducks last season. So now what do we do? What happens? I think the big question is, okay, they got their 1st round player. Now they have nobody in the 2nd round because they traded that for DK Metcalf. Now what? Do they? My guess was that they were going to trade back so they could have more draft capital to move into the 2nd round. But now that they didn't do that, what are they going to do? I think they're still going to trade draft capital to get into the 2nd round. And what is that? This year's 3rd or 4th. Next year's 3rd, because remember, they're getting lots of compensatory draft picks next year. I think like a 3rd or 4th and a 5th or something like that. So they can't trade those picks because they don't know exactly what they're getting, but they can trade the picks that they already have, that they're allotted. So they could trade those, a future 3rd and 4th to move up into the 2nd round or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I totally predict that they will make a trade to get into the 2nd round. I just think they want second round players are huge. I mean, look who their 2nd round player was last year, Zach Frazier. So huge. Oh, what else is there to say? I think I've been talking for 3 hours now about this. I just did not want Sanders. Now what if they did get a 2nd round, where are they going? I think they would try to get a quarterback. Jalen Milroe is still out there. Jackson Dart still out there. Tyler Shuck still out there. McCord still out there. I think they'll go. I think they're going to get some kind of quarterback in like in the 3rd or 4th round or something. I think they're going to get somebody, but I'm just glad it's not Shedeur Sanders. I'm so glad. I kind of feel bad for him. That has to suck that, the way people were talking that you're going to go top 5 and then you don't even go in the 1st round, but kind of brought it on himself. He kind of had a bit of an attitude and thought he was too good for this whole thing. So we'll see. What else do we know about Derek Harmon? After he transferred from Michigan State. I did not know that. Derek Harmon burst on the scene this year for top-ranked Ducks. He took advantage of the national stage by becoming one of the top defensive tackle prospects in this year's draft class. Harmon's ability on double teams is a big part of what sets him apart as a defender. He takes on blocks with good pad level and wide and sturdy base, making him hard to move. Also, he's good at sinking his hips and to absorb contact and attacking a man, so he's lined up across ability. Now, the Giants have just traded back into the first round. There were all kinds of rumors that was going to happen. So, are the Giants going to get Shedeur Sanders? Probably. I was just talking about it with the on the Jersey Boys podcast, and those are Giants fans, and they said, why would we want? We would want Shedeur Sanders because Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston are just temporary guys. And you know what? It wouldn't hurt Sanders to maybe sit back and just watch for half a year, a whole year, something like that. I don't know. Okay, I don't know why, but Derek Harmon's Derek Harmon was talking with Pittsburgh media. He said it felt like home when he came here on pre-draft visits. He doesn't know why some teams reportedly have concerns about a shoulder injury. Yeah, there was some medical concerns. Watching the draft back in Detroit, Derek Harmon called it bittersweet to get a call from the Steelers. He wanted his mom with him, but she's in the hospital on life support. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. That's wow. Praying for his mom. I had no idea. As soon as he hangs up with the media here in Pittsburgh, he's going to head to the hospital and tell his mom, your son just got drafted. Oh man. I hope he's okay. Yeah, you just hope he's okay. Also shout out to my buddy Darren, who's been on this podcast a million times. He's not doing so well, so praying for you, buddy. So what? Okay, I've traded. I want to see what oh my goodness, the Giants are taking Jackson Dart to the Giants with pick 25. So Jackson Dart goes before Sanders. Dave says they could get Sanders in the third the way he's dropping. Okay, that's mean. I shouldn't be laughing about that, but that is funny. His mom has been ill for years. I had no idea. I never heard it. I didn't know anything about that. That's funny. But Jackson Dart. Oh man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I imagine Sanders would go at some point. If nobody else trades up for him, I could see Sanders going early second round. That makes sense. But man, that's just cold. That's just cold. You trade up to get a quarterback, and it's not Sanders. That's bad. Oh my. What else is there to say? I think that's it. I think this is going to be I think this was a very good pick. Very happy. I think this is going to make the Steelers much better. They desperately needed a good defensive line. A good defensive line fixes a lot of problems. You don't have to have the greatest cornerbacks when you have a good defensive line. Just remember those really good defenses of the 90s and the 2000s with Casey Hampton and Aaron Smith and you need on a 3-4 defense, you need a strong defensive line to get everything going. So this is a very good move. And like I said, I don't think this is the only defensive line move. Well, how do I think it's going to go in here? If they do not trade up into the second round, I think they'll go running back in the third round, maybe defensive line again in the fourth round, maybe quarterback in the fourth round. And then who cares about the fifth, sixth, seventh round? So, all right. I think that will do it. Thank you to everybody. I think this is the largest audience I've ever had for one of these. So I don't really want to go, but I really don't have anything to say. And I'm kind of tired because I've been talking for 3 hours. So, I think I'm going to end it now. I will be talking Monday. I think I might do I might do Monday and Tuesday to do a draft recap and just talk about what all went down. There's so much that happened, and I gotta give credit. I gotta give credit to Omar Khan. This might be 3 good drafts in a row. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. This might be I mean, Broderick Jones is the key to this team. If Broderick Jones becomes a good left tackle, and the offensive and Fautanu, the assumption is he's going to be a good right tackle. If you can have a good offensive line and a good defensive line, it almost doesn't matter who the quarterback is. You could get by with Mason Rudolph and win some games. It's probably going to be Aaron Rodgers. Yay. But if you have a good line, look at the Eagles. Their entire philosophy is strong offensive line, strong defensive line, and they steamrolled their way into the Super Bowl. So, hopefully that's hopefully that's the philosophy. So the Falcons just traded back in the first round to trade with the Rams. That's odd. Derek Carmen said about his mom, she did not give up. She still took me to practice, still went to work. Always in the back of my head from the beginning of my college career was, why can't I keep going? I'm tired, I'm injured, whatever is why I can't keep going. If she can, oh man, that's just that's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking. You just hope his mom is all right. Breathe easy tonight. Dave and I are doing the Pittsburgh marathon, the half marathon in a week or so. So we need to get our rest. Yeah. Okay. That's it. I'm happy. I'm so happy. I was getting worried. I was so certain that the Steelers were not taking Sanders that I put my money on it. I said, if the Steelers take him, I will give him $1 to anybody that likes this. I don't know how that happened, but I was sweating. I was sweating to see if somebody if I was going to have to pay out. But all those mock drafts, like 75% of the mock drafts had Sanders going to the Steelers. And if you're a national guy, makes sense. Yeah, sure. Put 2 and 2 together. Steelers in a quarterback. He'll be there. He's available. He's a quarterback. Boom. There's your pick. But all the local guys thought it would be Derek Harmon. It just goes to show the national people don't know what the heck they're talking about. If you want your Steelers news, you go local. Yeah, there's this podcast, but there's so many other ones. Like I talked about Chris Carter, Locked on Steelers. It's Nick Farabaugh, who does a really good job. There's so many good. Mike DeFabo from the Athletic. There's so many good local sources that know their stuff and know. Jerry Dulac is he's buddies with the owner, so when he says something, that's a pretty darn good source. So just get your stuff locally because the national people don't know what they're talking about. Just remember that. So, all right. That is all. Thanks. And I'll talk to you Monday.